we've got our pancake breakfast, we had our kids fishing day, we had our fun day, we had scholarships, we had CTE awards, and it's just been a blast. We've been out in the community, giving out money, raising money, and it's been a lot of fun. So we're really, really excited. And you're going to hear some updates about some of those things today. First, I'd like to ask Milton Hardy to come to the podium for our call for introspection and Pledge of Allegiance.
Afternoon, everyone. Y'all know good and well my answer again. Afternoon, everyone. That sounds a whole lot better. I know y'all miss me and everything. Been busy. But today I want to make sure we do a proper introspection. And I wrote this down. I want to make sure we have something for you to remember for this summer. This is called the season of growth and giving. As we step into the heart of the year, June meets us with warmth, light, and the promise of growth. It's a season when nature blooms, schools close for summer, and communities come alive with opportunities to connect, serve, and lead. For Kiwanis, June is more than just a month on the calendar. It's a reminder of our purpose. It's a time to reflect on how far we have come this year and how much more we can do in the lives of children and the families around us. Just as farmers tend to their fields in early summer, we too are sowing seeds of kindness, service, and hope. Let this month be one of introspection. Are we reaching those who need us most? Are we nurturing the leaders of tomorrow? Are we keeping the Kiwanis spirit of service at the heart of everything that we do? As we plan summer projects, honor student achievements, or prepare even for the Kiwanis International Convention, I put that in there. May we pause to renew our commitment to each other, to our mission, and to the future that we're building, one child and one act of service at a time. Let June inspire us to grow stronger, give more generously, and serve with renewed passion. To serve the children of the world, may this calling bloom brightly in us this June and beyond. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty for all.
Thank you, Milton. That was very inspirational. Next up, we've got Andre Brooks, who's going to introduce our guest. And we should give Andre a quick round of applause because she stepped in to fill John's big shoes last or 2 weeks ago, I should say.
They are big shoes, but I don't think I filled them. I just kind of patched through. Good afternoon and welcome. We have a lot of guests today. Look around, the room is full. I don't know if I have a place to sit or not, but that's okay. I'd like to introduce Trish Wright Boyd first. Would you please rise and we will welcome everybody after we introduce everyone. Please remain standing so we can see you. Max Cardwell, he's a guest of Milton Hardy. He's an intern with him, and Milton says he would be a good member. And I'd like to ask Sherry Hartman to stand because she has a lot of guests today. And I apologize if I butcher your name. Sarita Combs, would you please rise? Janine Bean. Lauren Lapton. Jen Goodman. Aaron Muka. Second page. Not same as the first. Margarita Johnson. I know I've mispronounced that and I apologize. Those are Sherry's guests. Hold on, I got a lot more guests. Marion Weyer. Robert Anderson, who is the guest of Ken Briggs. Eddie Smith, who is a returning member. He used to be a member of our club. He is back from Richmond. and we're not going to let him out here until he rejoins. June House is with Chris Rouse. Stan Boatwright with Harry Zula. Harvey Brookins. Sorry, Harvey, I don't know who you're with. I'll claim you. Oh, Lori, thank you. Did I miss anyone? Thank you so much for being here. Did I miss Mark? Sorry, Mark Manor, who's with Chris. Special round of applause for Mark since I missed him. Welcome to all of you. We meet here every Wednesday, have a great lunch, a lot of fellowship. We do a lot of work for our community, but we also have a lot of fun. So I hope all of our guests will think about joining us.
Thank you so much, Andre. All right. A few quick announcements. We're going to move Sherry's Spring Fun Day acknowledgments to the bottom. Officers are meeting tomorrow morning at my office. The board meeting is Monday at Melrose Library. Thank you, Ms. Bean. Our Nature Park Committee meets on Monday at 4 p.m. The book club meets next Wednesday at 5:30 Melrose Library. And on June 28th, we have a really fun social event. You have signups on your tables. This is at Stony Brook Vineyard. We've been there in the past. Please put your name on the list for Andre because we do need reservations. We'll have music, food, and some great wine and company. All right. Next up, Sherry is going to give us an update on an awesome Fun Day event.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Truly, I wanted to take this time to thank all of the Kiwanians that participated and volunteered for our 5th annual Fun Day. This was our best event yet. There are a lot of highlights, and I don't want to miss any of them, but one of the ones that stuck out to me most was we gave out 425 Bibles. That ought to be some. I don't have a total number on how many attended, but I know that we prepared over 700 hamburgers and hot dogs. So I don't know how many were there. Well, it was truly a day of fellowship, friendship, and unity. And I want to thank those Kiwanians that came out to support it and to make it a success. I'm going to call out these names. I'll ask you to stand. Yes, if you will come up. Jeff Vick, Bruce Swanson, David Hartman, Miss Sherry, the Spark Plug, John Pennington, Bert Boyd, J.C. Taylor, Miss Rita Joyce, Courtney Plaster, Cynthia Gray, Lance Bowen, Sister Jean Bolendorf, our president, was in the house. Ken Briggs, Alex Barge, Bill Bestridge, Joe Limmer, Gary Dirk, and Steve McGraw. And I hope I did not miss anyone. Would you give them a hand, please? This is our 5th year with this event, and when we came up with the idea, we never envisioned it getting this big. Honestly, we just wanted to be a blessing to the Lansdowne community. That was our purpose when we started this event. but now I think it's extended to the whole Melrose community. And these people have helped make it such a great, with 42 different vendors that came alongside of us this year to make this a success. And Ms. Bean, thank you so much for what you did with the library, all the people at the library. Just so many people. I don't want to miss anyone. But it has been a true labor of love, and it's just been a great unity in the Melrose community. So thank you, everyone.
I'll tell you, I'm sure everybody in this room knows Coach Joe Gaither, also known as Bishop Joe Gaither at the Shiloh Baptist Church. This man, if you want to organize an event and get support, you want Joe Gaither, trust me. And also, if you want good weather, you get him to pray, and you always get good weather. Joe, you did a phenomenal job. Your spirit just infused the event and made it an experience that was so elevating and community strengthening. Let me hear it for Joe Gaither, folks. Okay, we, as you noticed, have a few guests. And what I did is I invited everybody who was at, Spring Fun Day to come and be a Kiwanian for a day at least, and maybe for more than a day, and join us for lunch today. And so Joe's going to help me in recognizing you all. And if you would like one of our flower pots, and there's little saucers under one of those flower pots, you can take that home. It's got seeds and a thank you from the Kiwanis Club. So Sarita, if you would come on up. And Sarita is with Virginia Western, who was one of our organizational partners among about 49 organizational partners. Thank you for being there. And we have Ms. Bean, Shanine Bean, from the Roanoke Library. She's joined, I know, by Sheila today, who's a Kiwanian with the library. Come on up and get your recognition. Marion Ware with Young Doctors Roanoke joined us. We loved having you there, Ms. Marion. Robert Anderson, I included on my list because though he's Ken's guest, he was there. So come on up. You got one? Okay. Lauren Frampton from Feeding Southwest Virginia. If you all want to come up and get a pot for your organization, thank you. They were amazing. They brought fresh produce and they trained kids on how to shop there and kids how to sell there right on the spot. They took over a whole section and created a pop-up market for us. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. And we had, as well, I know Beth over here, Beth Davidson with Why Not Workshop has joined us today. Come on up and be recognized. I also want to mention Alex Barge was there as on behalf of brain injury. And I don't know if you got, Alex, did you get your bucket? So you are good to go. Courtney Plaster with Clean Valley Council was there doing a wonderful job educating our community, brought her staff and did so many wonderful activities with our participants. Clean Valley Council is such a regular partner of ours with the nature park. We could not have the impact that we do without Courtney Plaster and Clean Valley Council. So thank you so much. All right. Now, is there any other organizational partner with the event who is here today that I missed? Anybody sitting out there? Don't be shy. I missed you. Well, thank you all so much again for an amazing event and for your participation in it. Thank you.
All right. Give this back to John. Thank you, Sherry and Joe, and thank you to everyone who came out. It was indeed a lovely day, a bit windy. We chased some tents down, but we had lots of hands to do that work. Next up, we're going to do our brag bucks. And for the benefit of our guests, a brag buck is an opportunity for a member or a guest to come up and make a small contribution to our foundation, which funds our service budget. And brag bucks are as little as $2 or as many as $200, your choice. And you get to speak for a few minutes about something that you would like to share with everyone else. And I know we have some brag bucks today from Guy Bird, Ken Briggs, and Chris Rouse. Y'all can come on up, and anyone else who wants to do a brag, Rita, come on up.
I believe I'm first today. Ken Briggs here, and I'm inviting you to a baseball game. Our Bridge Builder group is going to sponsor a night at the Salem Red Sox on June 21st. And some of you know, our Bridge Builders got started in this room with some of us were talking about how racially segregated our churches are on Sunday morning. So some of us got to talking 5 or 6 years ago. And since that time, our Bridge Builders has gotten together frequently. Milton Hardy Jr. is our chairperson, so you know we have a good time. But we're planning to go to the Salem Red Sox on Saturday night, June 21st. The flyer on your table should give you details. The cost of the ticket is $31. That's a lot of money for minor league baseball, but you get a 2-hour buffet of hamburgers and hot dogs, and including to your reserved seat. My guest, Robert Anderson, and I have tickets. You can see us. If you're not prepared to buy a ticket today and you want to reserve a ticket, send me an email or call me, and we can make that reservation. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm gonna do a little bragging. We have our gala for Fed Up on Friday night right here in this room. And I want to say we are sold out. And the community, the partners, the sponsors really came through at a time where we think we were not going to be able to do this. Our guest honorary speaker is going to be Sabrina Fulton, who is the mother of Trayvon Martin. So we again have a sold out crowd. But I want to encourage you, Friday at your jobs, if you're not doing anything, put on something orange. Orange is gun violence. It's the color for gun violence. And the month of June is National Gun Violence Awareness Month. So, Jerry, where you at? Thank you for your orange today. So we want you to, at least Friday, but any day of the month, represent gun violence awareness for the month of June. Thank you.
Guy Bird here. I don't come up here very often, but I had to this time because the month of June is a very busy month for the Adult Care Center. And it gives me a chance to brag on several people. Oh, sorry about that. Is that any better? Okay, thank you. On June 6th, which is this coming Friday, First Fridays has a concert in the park. And we will be participating, Adult Care Center will be participating, serving beer and whatever, selling tickets. And you can only participate every other year. It's been 2 years since we had a chance to do this. And we got rained out one of those two last time. So we're hoping for good weather on Friday and later in September for our second date. They assigned the dates. We don't get much to say about that, but it's going to be Nashville Nights, and they're going to be playing authentic 90s country music on Friday night. Starts around 5, ends by 9. Tickets are $7, and not quite what the Ken's got there, but you can still have a good time, I think. So come if you can. It'd be nice for you to do that. Second brag for me is Don Wilson himself. I just wanted you all to know that Don and the Evergreen Memorial Trust will have as their guests at the Salem Red Sox game on, let's see, June the 17th, which is one of the few weekday games that they play. And we're not open on the weekends. So we'll be bringing our participants out there because it's a weekday event. And we're very appreciative to Don. This is the second year at least Don has done that. And we appreciate that. And my final brag is for June 20th. So, we've got a busy month. We're having our first ever evening of jazz. It's going to be at the 5 Points Music Sanctuary. And you may recall that I think it was last year, Tyler Godsey, who was the owner of 5 Points, was here as our speaker one day. Very nice young man, fine organization. And they're going to help us have this evening of jazz. There's a local group called the Star City Swag, and they have been introduced to us by the Roanoke Symphony. So this is something of our collaboration with the symphony as well. So we're having a busy month. Anything that sounds of interest to you, come join us. Thank you so much.
Real quickly, I just want to brag on Greg Lineberger. He's not here today, but he was the catalyst for our CTE awards this year. He made all the contacts with the school, all the teachers, gathered all the gifts, and he made one presentation, but he's been working in behind the scenes, and I really appreciate what he's done to make a lot of kids happy with the scholarships and the stipends and equipment they've given them to go into the workplace, all prepared to go. Thank you.
Good afternoon. As Ken said, my name is Robert Anderson. I'm representing KidSoar, a downtown after-school reading program that's been in Roanoke for 36 years. We were at Trinity UMC, and when they sold the church, we have moved out to Windsor Hills, where Ken and Don are members. I just want to thank this group for supporting us over the years. I know you financially and other ways have done a lot, so thank you for that. I do want to say Mr. Ken Briggs was incomplete in his remarks, opening remarks. Ken and I have known each other for a while. He approached me at a baseball game one day. Some people would call Ken friendly. I kind of call him nosy, but that being said, Ken is involved in a lot of things with his church at Windsor Hills, as you know here. He's at the Bridge Builders Group. He and JT sort of started Meals on Wheels, Bojangles Biscuit Club, all kinds of things that Ken's involved in. So I thought it would be a good idea earlier this year when I saw the United Way honoring the 100 heroes of the Roanoke Valley, the unsung heroes. So I nominated this gentleman over here, and I kept waiting for a response. And I thought, well, they kept extending the deadline, so they must, they didn't even get 100 nominees, evidently, because that's a joke. But no, Ken was selected as one of the 100 heroes of the Roanoke Valley for all the things he does. And they're having the baseball game. They're honoring the 100 heroes. They get to walk out on the field this Saturday. But Ken and his wife are going to be out of town, so he won't be able to attend. So I tried to figure out another way to make up for that. Well, I called the Red Sox. I talked to the director of promotions and tickets over there. And so Blair Hoke is going to allow Ken and JT Taylor to throw out the first pitch at the game when the Bridge Builders are having their night on the 21st. So if you guys want to come see Ken bounce one up there, and congratulations to anyone else in here or any of your friends who were selected to that group of heroes. It's well deserved. And come on out to the game Saturday. They'll be honored then. Thank you.
I can pay for my mistake, John. You can bill this as a brag buck. But we've also been joined today by Marquita Johnson from the Department of Health, who did a fabulous job being there all day long. So I wanted to acknowledge you and thank you for coming today, Marquita. So May, I'm just blessed by the way with Family Service Summit Valley. May was a huge month for our family. Personally, I had 2 graduates. So my oldest, Levi, graduated with an agriculture science degree from the University of Tennessee. He will either be entering as a master's student at Tennessee or Tech this fall. And my daughter, my youngest, graduated from Salem High School, and she'll be entering Virginia Tech this fall in the pre-med track. Both graduated with honors, so I'm so proud of both of them.
Good afternoon. It's a great day to be a Kiwanian in this amazing city, isn't it? It's a great day. Let's just hear it for Kiwanis Club of Roanoke. Now, the person I'm about to talk about was already mentioned by Bert Boyd, but let me start like this. Last meeting, I had the pleasure of recognizing several individuals that were part of the KPAD event, and I know we're going to do KPAD recognition next week, but I've got to get this out because I missed somebody in my recognition. So today, I'd like to highlight the tireless work of Greg Lionberger. And I would ask him to stand, but he's not here. So yesterday, Jason Poff and I were at a chamber event, and Jason said that our KPAD event is a well-oiled machine. And I would completely agree with that. This is a 30-year event that we put on this past May 10th. And Greg basically was involved from the very beginning. He went above and beyond. He did everything from unloading and packing our semi-truck with all of our equipment. He hung lights. He helped to monitor the grills. He helped to give wise, sage advice. And he did a whole bunch of things. I mean, he was there probably about 5 or 5:30 in the morning, along with Eric Danielson and a few other people in this room. So I'm really sorry that Greg can't be here today, but I wanted to see if we could all give Greg a round of applause for his commitment and dedication to what he did for this year's KPAD event. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's wonderful to hear of all these wonderful things that our club members are doing and being recognized for. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Bert Boyd, who will be introducing today's speaker.
Good afternoon. I'm Bert Boyd, and it's my pleasure to serve this as responsible host for hosting the Speakers of the Month. I'd like to begin by expressing my sincere thanks to Dave Hartman for his outstanding leadership for chairing the Speakers Committee. And a few months ago, Michael Brockton made a comment in one of our board meetings suggesting that we engage and broaden our perspective by inviting representatives in our region to share with us their current events, challenges, initiatives, and other future opportunities within our community. So I was inspired by his recommendation. I reached out to our colleagues at the City of Roanoke and was delighted to receive an early approval from City Manager Val Marie Turner to join us today. Ms. Turner has served as the City Manager of Roanoke since January 2025 and brings an impressive background of more than 30 years of local government leadership experience across Virginia, Georgia, and Florida. Prior to her current role, she served as Deputy City Manager in Fairfax and Deputy County Administrator in Loudoun County. Ms. Turner holds degrees in business economics and public administration and is a certified housing counselor and real estate professional. Her dedication to community progress and her vision for building a stronger Roanoke are truly inspiring. It's my honor and pleasure to welcome City Manager Val Marie Turner to the Kiwanis Club of Roanoke, Virginia. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Lunch. So I want to make sure that you hear me and I hear you. So it is indeed an absolute pleasure to be here today. And thank you so much for the warm welcome and for the invite. I'm extremely excited to be here and just, more honored than anything else to be able to share with you a little bit about myself, my journey. I've been working, as Mr. Boyd said, and thank you so much for the invite. I have been working with local government now for a little over 30 years, and I keep saying the same thing. I started when I was 2. That is my story. I'm going to forever stick to that story because every time I say I've been working for over 30 years, okay, sorry. Every time I say I've been working for over 30 years, I kind of I date myself. And I've been serving communities in Virginia, in Florida, and Georgia. I'm born and raised Floridian. I have worked in almost every facet of local government, from affordable housing, health and human services, community development, infrastructure, um, and certainly and most importantly, community building. I'm also a proud International City County Management Association credentialed manager. And I also served as a regional vice president on the ICMA executive board. I view public service more of a calling and a privilege, and has been both rewarding for me, both professionally and personally. Next slide. So, since arriving in the city of Roanoke, I have been struck with the warmth of the people and the vibrancy of the city. The Star City has a unique mix of natural beauty, cultural richness, and ripe opportunity for growth. There's a strong foundation here, and my goal is to build upon that together with you. From my very first day, I felt welcome, and not just in the professional sense, but also a deeply personal one. Roanoke is a city with a heart. People here care about not only their neighborhoods, but they also care about the future. That spirit of connection is one of the greatest assets you can ever have in a community. Whether it's the breathtaking views of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the history that is etched in our architecture, or the creativity of small businesses and our artists, Roanoke pulses with potential. It's a place where tradition and innovation meet, where we honor the past while leaning boldly to the future. But beyond beauty and culture, I see a city that's ready for growth, to tackle any challenges together, and ready to elevate every resident, whether they've been here for generations or they're new, just like me. We already have a solid foundations with strong neighborhoods, passionate leaders, committed partners. I want to strengthen that foundation that is inclusive leadership, thought investment, and meaningful community engagement. Together, we can ensure Roanoke is not only the Star City in name, but an opportunity, equity, and excellence for all who call it home. Next slide. So I tend to lead with 3 guiding principles: transparency, collaboration, and equity. Transparency from a standpoint of openness, honesty, and accountability in all aspects of city government. Residents deserve to know how decisions are made, how funds are spent, and how their input shapes our policies. I believe trust is built not just through outcomes, but through clarity and consistent communication. Collaboration. Collaboration is absolutely the heart of progress. No single department, organization, or leader can move a city forward alone. I prioritize partnerships with council, staff, community leaders, businesses, and residents because the best solutions are co-created. When we work together, we not only strengthen outcomes, but also deepen community trust and resilience. And last but certainly not least is equity. And that is ensuring that every resident, regardless of background, neighborhood, or income, has access to opportunity and feels valued by their government. It's about removing barriers, addressing disparities, and making sure our policies are investments to serve all of Roanoke. It is not just a checklist, it's a lens through which every decision is made. I lead by actively listening first to residents, to employees, to partners, to community stakeholders. Listening helps me understand not just what the issues are, but why they matter and who they affect. It is about hearing both the spoken and the unspoken concerns of the community. From listening comes learning, a willingness to absorb diverse perspectives, revisit assumptions, recognize the best solutions often emerge when we slow down and truly understand. I make a point to learning from data, from lived experiences, and from wisdom that exists across every neighborhood and organization. Only after listening and learning do I believe we can lead effectively. Leadership isn't about having all the answers, it's about convening the right voices, making informed decisions, and remaining accountable. I believe every voice has value, and that inclusive leadership isn't just a principle, it's a strategy for achieving results that last. When communities are part of the process, they are more invested in the outcome. That's how we move Roanoke forward together. Next slide. I am often asked about my vision for Roanoke, but truly, my job is to align with and carry out City Council's vision. However, I do have some priorities. So some of my priorities are like economic development. You know, attracting and retaining businesses and supporting entrepreneurs at the top of the list. And our economic development department works very closely with the Economic Development Authority to create programs and services for businesses in the city. Additionally, the city manager's office, we have a new resource in our office, and that is the executive performance administrator. And that position is what is going to focus on bridging the gap between small businesses and local government. Next is affordable housing or housing as a whole. And that is just ensuring, when I say affordable, it ensures that residents at all income levels can live here. I created a new position that is currently being advertised. So if you know anyone that's looking, called the Housing Programs and Policy Administrator position. That position will be responsible for the strategic development, implementation, and evaluation of housing initiatives. Also, public safety and infrastructure, strengthening services and by investing in long-term assets. You know, when I was preparing the budget, I kept saying challenges and choices, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But we have to be able to invest in all of our long-term assets. You know, we also have concerns about crime, whether they're real or perceived, they're there, and they have been raised consistently by residents. Our police department is committed and professional, and we must ensure the community feels safe and supported. Additionally, again, improving the city's infrastructure from bridges to parks and municipal facilities. And last but certainly not least, community engagement, and that is fostering trust, inclusion, and civic pride. Next slide. We are advancing some transformative projects across the city And I'd like to tell you just about a few of those. First is the Riverdale Redevelopment Project, and that is where we hope to turn vision into economic opportunity. That project is situated in the former American Visco plant site. The Riverdale project aims to transform the southeast Roanoke into a vibrant mixed-use urban center. To date, over 2 million pounds of debris has been removed and recycled, improving environmental conditions already. Plans include mixed income housing with a focus on creative professionals and essential workers, addressing the city's need for more affordable housing. Next is neighborhood revitalization and downtown innovation hubs. We are having ongoing public meetings and surveys to ensure that redevelopment plans reflect the needs and desires of current residents. Upgrades to roads, utilities, and public spaces are integral to enhancing livability and attracting new residents and attracting businesses. Efforts are also being made to preserve area industrial heritage while integrating modern amenities and housing options. Next is our downtown vibrancy. Rezoning plans are progressing to create urban centers that blend residential, commercial, and recreational spaces, fostering a dynamic downtown environment. The Riverdale area is being positioned as a hub for creative professionals with dedicated spaces for artists, startups, and tech companies. I do want to talk a little bit about the Wasina Bridge. I know that's been on the minds of everyone lately. And we started this project based on feedback from a 2018 feasibility study. The project totals over $1.6 million with contributions from the city of Salem, the town of Benton, as well as private donations. Construction is scheduled to start, construction was started in winter of the 2024, and we hope to have it completed by April, May of 2026. These are just a number of projects. They are investments in Roanoke's future. Next slide. Me and our team, we are committed to open communication and accessibility, which is why I'm here today. We're creating more opportunities for public input, from task forces to focus groups and online tools. I don't know if you've seen the recent announcement where the Mayor's Hope and Home Project is a task force that we've just introduced. And that task force hope to include 20 individuals from the community that will work alongside not only the mayor and city council, but also city staff to talk about some of the woes of the unhoused and what are some of the solutions that we can come together collectively. Again, this is something that we are doing to engage the community, to have the community involved with us as we seek solutions. And I want the residents to feel heard and know that their voices are being used in the path forward. Next slide. So Kiwanis Club of Roanoke, you have a long, long history of giving back to Roanoke and have been serving Roanoke community for over 100 years. I see great potential to expand our partnership. You provide grants to local community projects. We provide grants to local nonprofits. You provide scholarships to high schoolers and to college students. We have a teen apprenticeship program for youth ages 14 to 18 and a summer internship program for college students. In fact, we have one of our interns that's here with us today. Together, we can inspire the next generation and strengthen the social fabric of our community. Together, we can truly move Roanoke forward. Next slide. So before I close, I thought I would be remiss if I didn't say a little bit about our budget. So we proposed, and it was accepted by council and the mayor, a balanced budget of approximately $400 million, and that aligns with the strategic goals. In the budget, it did include a 3% increase for general and government employees, as well as a full step pay increase for public safety personnel. And yes, it did include a modest 1% meals adjustment to support the city's priorities. Challenges and choices, a multi-year, multi-pronged approach to government. Every dollar is tied to impact, whether it's public safety, housing, or infrastructure. Next slide. So in closing, I want to thank you for this time. I want to thank you for allowing me just to talk a little bit about myself, about my journey, about what's going on with the city, but more importantly, how we can work together as a community. Let's continue to build and let's continue to move Roanoke forward. And I am happy if you have time to answer any questions that you may have. So, community is community. And so, in every area that I have worked to get involved in the community to understand what the needs are and to ensure that our programs and our services align with those programs. And I do the same thing here. In Northern Virginia, particularly in Loudoun, while money may not have been an issue, certainly making sure that all the voices were at the table was. And so one of the first things that I did, particularly working in health and human services, was I decided that we needed to do a health and human services strategic plan, and not from the top down, but to involve the community, to involve the nonprofits, to involve the small businesses, everyone that is impacted by health and human services came together for 18 months to work on a plan of action on how we move things forward. You can't do anything without the community. And so my goal is to always get involved. So I understand what the woes are. I understand what the concerns are, and that we can truly dedicate our services and our programs and our funds in order to be able to solve those. And I'm sorry, I did not repeat that question. So the question was, you just told me, I forgot it. The question was that I've worked for, in the Northern Virginia area for some, I think your word that you used was powerhouses, and how does that compare to Roanoke? So I hope that I answered your question. Yes. Mhm. So the question was, it sounds as like the federal government may have some potential cuts, particularly in reference to the school lunch program. And how is the city going to respond to that? I'll say that the education and this Roanoke City Public Schools is a top priority for the mayor and the city council. And so as needs arise, we'll have constant dialogue with them in terms of what funds are available to ensure that we can meet the needs of our Roanoke City Public Schools. Mine too. So the question was about deers and the amount of deers in our neighborhoods. So I'll be honest. Um, I just moved and I bought a home in the area, in the city, And I was shocked as well. I came home one night and I know it was at least 20. I kid you not, I know it was at least 20 that were in my yard, and I was like, okay. So, and I'll tell you that we do have a deer culling program, believe it or not. So we have a deer culling program, but we ran up money for FY25. And so as of July 1, there's a new allocation that will be available. But I can tell you it won't be enough to solve our issues. But we do have money set aside for that. That's something that was very new to me that I'm learning more about. And so I've been working with the police department, and hopefully if we need to put a couple more $1,000 into that program, we'll be able to do that. But yes, so that program funding will be available on July 1. And I'm working with our police department on when we're going to roll that program out. So hopefully it'll help with the number of deer that we have, but you are correct. Well, well, listen, I'll win that one. I could not. I mean, because I was looking like, I mean, it was at least 20. I kid you not. I'm not exaggerating at all. It was at least 20. At least 20. Any other questions? Mhm. Oh, outside of affordable housing? Yes. So, statistically, Roanoke's poverty is at about 20%. So when I talk about economic development and bringing more businesses here, I want to increase employability skills and bring more high-paying jobs into the area, because there is a disconnect between what it costs to live here versus what someone makes. Our area, median income for this area is about 51,000. But however, it costs at least about $1,500 to rent a modest two-bedroom apartment. And so there is a disconnect there. And so my goal is to bring in more businesses with more higher paying jobs in order to assist with that, because we do have higher than the state average relative to the number that's considered at poverty level. Oh, did I repeat the question? No, I did not repeat the question. So the question was, and my apologies to those that are online, the question was, aside from affordable housing, what are some of the issues that I see, or some of the challenges, or the main challenges that I see for the residents of Roanoke? And I talked about the poverty, so my apologies. So the question was, I talked about bringing businesses into the community, but we have a homeless problem. We're not unique in having homeless problems, but I will say that, you know, they're homeless because we do have a lack of housing. That's one aspect of it. Homelessness is extremely complex because you have different populations of homelessness. You have those that are episodic, and for lack of better words, an episodic homeless person is one that um, makes just enough that they can probably pay their rent, but one incident can send them into homelessness. Then you have those that do have a mental health or a substance use disorder. Um, and so we have what we call chronic. They're homeless. They've had either four episodes of homelessness over the course of 12 months, or they have been chronically homeless for years. And that population is a lot harder to house, because they will require case management. So that population won't need just a hand up. They'll need wraparound services in order for them to be sustainable. So there's so many different populations. And then you have those, particularly in our school systems, are what we call precariously housed. and they're precariously housed because they're either doubled up because they can't afford, they may be couch surfing because they're in and out of just being precariously housed. And so what happens is you have to be able to provide resources for every single population. And that cannot be just on the backs of local government. It has to be a community wide because the government doesn't have enough money to do that. And so I will say that the first step for a community initiative is going to be this task force, because I've lived this area, so I've been working in this area, so I can talk about it from the top to the bottom. However, what you'll find is most people don't really understand because they see the person that is begging on the corner, and I can tell you that's probably not a largest number of homelessness. It's those that, single moms that are hiding. They don't want anyone to know because they're afraid that someone may take their children. So it's a lot. And I'm hopeful that some of you might want to participate with us as we're looking for solutions, as we're looking to tailor our resources to impact. So we definitely understand that. I understand that, and I certainly want to work towards solutions. So thank you for your question.
Well, I'm so appreciative that Ms. Turner was able to spend time with us today because I know she's a very busy lady. And I hope she'll be able to stay after the meeting for a little bit. Very fittingly, the honorarium that we're presenting to her is going to the rescue mission. All right, before I let you go, we've got some gaps on our garden caring list this summer. Remember, I told you your work's not done yet. So if you can grab a week of taking care of the garden and keeping those deer out, John York, we're going to pay you for it. That would be a big help. Next week, we're going to have our final celebration of our Kiwanis Pancake and Auction Day. So we're going to get to hear how much money we raised and who gets all the awards. And Joyce is going to have center stage. We're excited. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you to our guests. Yes, Mr. Lee Osborne. Yes. All right. And with that, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.